What if I told you that the very modifications that made Amelia Earhart's plane perfect for her around-the-world flight might have been exactly what doomed her to disappear forever? July 2nd, 1937. The most famous female pilot in history takes off from Papua New Guinea in her heavily modified Lockheed Model 10 Electra. She's just 7,000 miles from making history as the first woman to fly around the world at the equator. But 20 hours later, her voice crackles over the radio one final time.
We are on the line 157-337 flying north and south.
Then, silence. Neither she nor her navigator, Fred Noonan, would ever be seen again. But here's what most people don't know, and what might shock you. When Earhart chose the Lockheed Electra for her world flight attempt, aviation experts called it brilliant. This wasn't some daredevil stunt plane, this was cutting-edge 1930s technology. The Electra was a twin-engine marvel. 2 Pratt & Whitney Wasp Junior radial engines pumping out 600 horsepower each. In an era when most pilots were still flying single-engine death traps, Earhart had chosen redundancy and reliability. But here's where it gets interesting, and potentially deadly. Earhart's Electra wasn't just any Model 10. It was extensively modified for her record attempt. Extra fuel tanks were crammed into every available space. The passenger cabin, converted to fuel storage. The cargo area, more fuel tanks. In total, her plane could carry 1,150 gallons of aviation gasoline. But wait, there's a problem most people never talk about. Those fuel modifications created a flying time bomb. Here's why. As the Electra burned fuel during flight, its weight distribution changed dramatically. Imagine trying to balance a seesaw where one end keeps getting lighter while you're blindfolded. That's essentially what Earhart was dealing with at 10,000 feet. The extra fuel tanks shifted the aircraft's center of gravity throughout the flight. When fully loaded, the plane was nose-heavy. As fuel burned off, it became tail-heavy. This constant shift made the aircraft increasingly difficult to control, especially during critical phases like takeoff and landing. But it gets worse. The fuel system modifications created another deadly issue. Multiple fuel tanks meant multiple potential failure points. If one tank developed a leak, or if the fuel selector valves malfunctioned, the engines could starve for fuel even with tanks still containing gasoline. And here's something that will blow your mind. Earhart's Electra was equipped with state-of-the-art navigation equipment for 1937. She had a radio direction finder, a Bendix radio compass, and multiple radio frequencies for communication. But this advanced equipment had a fatal flaw that experts are still debating today. The radio direction finder, her primary navigation tool for finding tiny Howland Island in the vast Pacific, was notoriously unreliable near the equator. The Earth's magnetic field plays tricks on radio waves in equatorial regions, causing compass readings to swing wildly. Even more troubling, Earhart had removed the 250-foot trailing wire antenna before her final flight. This antenna was crucial for long-range radio communication. Why did she remove it? Some say it was damaged, others claim it was too cumbersome. But without it, her radio range was severely limited. So picture this. You're flying a heavily modified aircraft with questionable weight distribution over the world's largest ocean, with navigation equipment that doesn't work properly in your location, and limited radio range to call for help. Let's piece together what likely happened on July 2nd, 1937. Earhart and Noonan took off from Lae, Papua New Guinea, at 10 a.m. local time. Their destination? Howland Island, a tiny speck of land just 1.6 miles long and 0.5 miles wide. Finding it would be like spotting a grain of sand on a football field. The flight should have taken about 20 hours. For the first 16 hours, everything seemed normal. But then, the radio transmissions became increasingly frantic.
Gas is running low,
she radioed.
Unable to reach you by radio.
Her final transmission at 8:43 a.m.
We are on the line 157-337 flying north and south.
Here's what aviation experts believe happened. The constantly changing weight distribution from fuel consumption made precise navigation nearly impossible. As the plane became tail-heavy, it would have required constant trim adjustments. This would have affected their airspeed calculations and, consequently, their estimated position. The faulty radio navigation equipment led them astray. Instead of flying directly to Howland Island, they likely flew parallel to it, hence running north and south, desperately searching for the island they couldn't find. Here's the tragic irony that still haunts aviation historians today. The very modifications that made Earhart's flight possible, the extra fuel capacity, the long-range navigation equipment, the twin-engine reliability, may have been exactly what killed her. A standard, unmodified Lockheed Electra would have been easier to fly, more predictable in its handling, and less prone to the weight distribution issues that plagued her final flight. But the most haunting question remains: could modern technology solve the Earhart mystery? Recent expeditions using advanced sonar and underwater robotics continue searching for her Electra. In 2012, researchers found debris on a remote Pacific island that some believe came from her aircraft. DNA analysis is ongoing. The Amelia Earhart mystery reminds us that in aviation, perfection can be the enemy of survival. Sometimes the most advanced technology introduces complexities that create new ways to fail. What do you think happened to Amelia Earhart? Was it pilot error, mechanical failure, or something else entirely? Drop your theories in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by aviation mysteries like this, you won't want to miss our next video about Flight 19, where 5 military aircraft vanished simultaneously in the infamous Bermuda Triangle. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. The truth is still out there, waiting to be discovered.